talk about pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle is just like a ball shape. It consists of four bones, two os cox and two are the sacrum and coccygeal. Sacrum and coccygeal we have discussed earlier in previous lecture. So, which is a part of vertebral column. We will just discuss os cox. Pelvic girdle basically supports the trunk on legs and it also protects the internal pelvic organs, that is called lower column, urinary bladder and reproductive organs. So we will just discuss os cox. Four bones are formed and makes a pelvic girdle. One is os cox and second is sacrum and coccygeal. Sacrum and coccygeal posteriorly were left and right. This is right innominate bone or os cox and this is left os cox. These two bones unite posteriorly at sacrum point and makes a joint. That joint is called sacroiliac joint. And anteriorly, these two bones, these two os cox unite with the help of fibrocartilage and makes a joint. That joint is called pubic symphysis. Before really going to talk about pelvic girdle, we will just discuss the two basic terms which we'll often use in this lecture. First one is crest. Crest is the narrow ridge over the bone. A narrow ridge. And second is spine. Thin or slender process. What is process? Process is the bony prominence over the bone. That's called process. And spine, the thin, slender process. This is the one or single innominate bone or os cox. The first superior and broader portion, that is called ilium. Basically the pubis bone or innominate bone or os cox is fused of three bones. One is ilium, second is ischium, third one is pubis bone. The broader portion of innominate bone or os cox, that is ilium, which is extends from iliac crest. This is iliac crest, a narrow ridge. This is iliac crest. From iliac crest to the acetabulum cavity, the upper border of acetabulum cavity, that is a part of innominate bone, is iliac bone. Three distinctive features in this bone, that is, one is iliac crest, second is acetabulum cavity, in which acetabulum cavity, and third one is obturator foramen. Acetabulum cavity, in which the head of femur articulated and form a hip joint. In iliac bone, there are four spines. Two are anterior, this is the anterior portion and this is the posterior portion. Two are anterior and two are posterior. At anterior side, there is a spine that is called anterior superior spine. This is called anterior superior spine. And the second one is, this is called anterior inferior spine. Anterior inferior spine. And while talking about the posterior side, at posterior side there are another spine that is called posteriorly, the upper spine that is called posterior superior spine. Posterior superior spine. And below the posterior superior spine there is another spine that is called posterior inferior spine. Posterior inferior spine. In thin or lean person, the anterior superior spine, because it is a thick projection, thick process, so it is often palpable or seen in thin or lean persons. Posteriorly, below the posterior inferior spine, there is a notch. Basically, two notch in this os cox bone. One is inferior to the posterior inferior spine and other one is here. It is a part of os cox and the name of this bone we will discuss later. This is another notch. This is called, this is broader notch and this is small notch. This notch is called sciatic notch, greater sciatic notch. And this is lesser sciatic notch. Okay. Below the sciatic notch, as we have discussed, the iliac bone, which is extend from iliac crest to the upper part of the acetabulum cavity, and the lower part, lower and posterior part, inferior and posterior part of acetabulum cavity, the extension of ischium bone from here to the middle of lower middle portion of the obturator foramen, that is called ischium bone. And here is the another spine of ischium, that is called ischium, spine of ischium. And below the ischium spine there is another, we have discussed the lesser sciatic notch. Here is the lesser sciatic notch. Below the lesser sciatic notch there is a rough surface, rough and thick surface, that's called ischial tuberosity. When we are sitting in sitting position, this tuberosity we can feel by finger easily. This is the ischial tuberosity. And anterior to the ischial tuberosity there is a brim, that is called brim of ischium, and which is unite with the pubis bone. Pubis bone has two brims. One is superior, this is superior brim, and here is inferior brim. The superior brim is called superior brim of pubis bone, and here is the inferior brim of pubis bone. And this pubis bone anteriorly unite with another pubis bone of os cox and form a joint with the help of fibrocartilage. This is called pubic symphysis. Posteriorly, the surface of iliac bone is a rough surface. Here is a rough surface. And here is the three main gluteal lines where gluteal muscles are attached over here. The anterior side, that is called anterior gluteal line. This is called anterior gluteal line. And here is the superior gluteal lines, posterior superior gluteal lines, and here is the posterior inferior gluteal lines. And anteriorly, the surface of iliac bone is a smooth surface, and here is a shallow surface that is called iliac fossa, and this is called iliac fossa. When we are talking about the pelvic girdle, here is the iliac crest of iliac bone, and here is the spine, posterior spine and the inferior spine, and here is the sciatic notch, and here is the acetabulum cavity on both sides bilaterally, and here is the obturator foramen, and here is the obturator foramen, and this is a part of os cox, that is pubic bone, pubis, which is unite and other pubic bone on the right side, that is, and form a joint as pubic symphysis. Now we will discuss the greater pelvis and lesser pelvis. What is greater pelvis and what is lesser pelvis? Greater pelvis and lesser pelvis. Greater pelvis are and lesser pelvis. Greater pelvis is false pelvis and lesser pelvis is true pelvis. The broader portion here, this is the brim of pelvis brim. The broader portion over this is called greater pelvis, and below the ridge between two brim, that is called lesser pelvis or true pelvis. And greater pelvis is also called pelvic inlet. This is pelvic inlet, and here is pelvic outlet. This helps in childbirth. One more thing, in pelvic girdle there is a pubic arch. Between two pubic bones there is a pubic arch make an angle. This angle is large, more than 90 degree. Often it reaches more than 100 degree in females and less than 90 degree in males. There are some differences in male and female pelvic girdle because female pelvic girdle is broader than male pelvic girdle, but an individual can recognize it easily just at a glance. But here are some features we have to discuss and we should know about that. First of all, the pubic arch. Pubic arch is the angle of pubic arch is larger in females and lesser in males, and obturator foramen is more broader in females rather than males, and the hip of the iliac crest, the ilium bone superiorly is broader in females and lesser in males, and posteriorly the sacrum and coccygeal bone. The sacrum bone is also a larger or greater in females and lesser in males. The tailbone, coccygeal bone is often larger or long in females rather than in males. While the sciatic notch in females is wider, while sciatic notch in male pelvic girdle is narrower. And when we just see the pelvic girdle as an appearance. The female pelvic girdle is more delicate structure, but in male pelvic girdle, the rough and thick structure, thick appearance. Here are the differences in female and male pelvic girdle. Any question up till now? No question? Class finished.